Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Mini Bytes. I am your friend Amudan Shaktivel, and in this video we will see about ELK stack. Again, in the previous video we have seen why we need to create a real-time dashboard, and we also understood that we're gonna use a ELK stack for creating our real-time dashboard. But in this video we're gonna see about ELK stack in detail. Most importantly, we're gonna see how this operates, how support team is actually using this ELK stack, to reduce their burden. Again, to give a diagrammatic view, say consider this is your ELK stack. Again, E stands for Elasticsearch, and L stands for Logstash, and K stands for Kibana. Right, this is a, since people normally use these three things together, right? So they normally call it as ELK stack, or people also use beats software that's almost they will call us ELBK stack. So but for in our use case we will just take ELK, and in testing perspective we are not going to use this Logstash. Okay, but let me tell you how the support people are using this. Okay, consider I am a support technician, and my purpose is, my job is to monitor the servers, right? So if there is something wrong with the servers, I need to tell I need to solve the issue, or I need to delegate to the developer to fix the issue, right? So consider I'm a support technician. I have to monitor 4 different applications. Okay, each application produce logs in their own different formats, because those are all different application, right? Everyone have their own way of producing the logs, right? So we have 4 different types of logs, right? So we have some log with the one, with type 2, with type 3, and with type 4. 4 different structured logs, right? It can be of any type, right? So what this log stash will help them, right? What they will do, they will send all the logs to this log stash. Okay, this log stash will collect all the logs, and then they can do a lot of transformation, right? So if there is an unstructured way of logs coming into a log stash, they can structure it, and then they can push it to a Elasticsearch, right? So the purpose of log stacks is to collect the logs again and to transform it to the required format. Again guys, the logs can be your Nginx logs, your server logs, your Apache logs, or whatever the logs. Okay, even your Log4j logs, you can send, and then you can transform them and put it into a Elasticsearch. Again guys, Elasticsearch is a database. Okay, you can imagine it as a database. Since you might be aware of MySQL or Oracle databases, this is slightly different from it. Okay, how this is also a database, but this does not store values, or the data is in the form of table, right? So in Oracle we have everything in the form of tables, right? So we call it a schema, right? So we have a lot of tables. Each table have a hold a set of data, and then we have a lot of correlation between the tables. We have primary key and all of the stuff, right? So predominantly we have tables, and data are stored in the form of row and column. But in Elasticsearch, everything will be stored in the form of document. Like, yes, you can consider it as a page, right? Page of paper, right? All whatever the document that you send will be stored in a form of document, right? So there is no uh, you know tables, no schemas and other stuff. The purpose of Elasticsearch is to store, search, and analyze all your logs, or whatever the information that you are sending to Elasticsearch. Then what is the purpose of Kibana? So guys, Kibana is a visualization tool, right? So you can manage whatever the data that is in Elasticsearch is not actually well readable, or it's not quite visually appealing, right? So I need to see it in a form of a pie chart, or a bar diagram, or a line chart. You can make a lot of things with Kibana. We will see more that in detail, but just understand Kibana helps you to create a good neat visualization diagrams, right? So normally in Excel we have a lot of data. What we do, we even the status report that we send, we take a lot of pass, failed, and skipped test cases, right? So in a form of bar chart or by diagram, to the clients, right? Why we are doing that? Because the data are it's boring. We need something that's visually appealing to the eyes, right? That's why we need Kibana, right? So in our use case we will not be using this Logstash for the testing perspective, but just to give you an understanding, I have told what is the purpose of it. But for us, we are going to only focus on these 2 things. One thing that I want to mention is this Elasticsearch, right? So now you have a query. We are not using Logstash. Then how I can put the data into Elasticsearch? This Elasticsearch is is exposing a lot of APIs, guys. So it has APIs. Okay, you can contact, or connect with them with the help of APIs, right? So you can send APIs, and then you can operate on the Elasticsearch. If you want to inject the data into Elasticsearch, you can use a post method, right? For post API call. So with the help of APIs, we can interact with the Elasticsearch. We will be doing all these things. So I hope if you don't understand, that's okay for now, because we will be seeing that in detail. Hey, let me go back to the slides, and then now I'll start it from the beginning. So I already told ELK stands for Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. We are not going to use Logstash in our use case, and we'll first see about what is Elasticsearch. Again, as I already told, it's a document based schemaless. Schemaless, when I mean schemaless, there is no tables, right? So MySQL or Oracle have a lot of tables. This is a real time distributed analytics engine, which means you inject the data into Elasticsearch, it will be indexed immediately, and you can access those documents immediately. So it's a real time distributor. Again, people always call it as near real time, because you inject the data, it will take fraction of second before it is available for you to access from Kibana. So people, you can call it as real time distributed, or actually it is near real time. So almost fraction of seconds there will be a deviation. That's okay for now. But even if you don't understand, that's completely all right, guys. Just get a main thing is it doesn't have tables. Okay, that's the main thing. Again, the next one is it is developed in Java. So it is an open source tool, so you can definitely use it in your in your workplace. So it actually using Apache Lucene, right? So what is Apache Lucene? So Elasticsearch internally uses another software, it's like Apache Lucene. It's an open source scalable text search engine, right? So it's predominantly focused on text indexing and searching. Again, if you don't understand what is this, let me give you a quick example with the help of this diagram. Consider you have injected these three documents into documents into Elasticsearch. Now you are trying to access, right? So no, with what it will do, suppose I want to check whether there is a word check in this any of these documents. Okay, this is the query that I'm sending to Elasticsearch. It internally has something called as Lucene. So this, what this Lucene does, it will go and then search, and then it will try to find the most relevant documentation. It will find all the documents, but it'll align them in the order that which one is most relevant to you. Suppose I'm trying to search for ABCD check, then it will first list me document one, then it will list me document two, because there is a word check. Okay, suppose consider I'll give a small simple diagram. I want to now search for the word ABCD check. Okay, then this Lucene, what it does, it goes and search and then gives me document one in the top order, and document two in the next, and the last is based on document three, because document three is also having ABCD, the document two is having check. Okay, so but the ABCD check is actually present in doc one, so it's the most relevant, so it will prioritize this one. So it has certain algorithms in itself. Again, this Lucene also is made of Java, right? So it has a lot of searching algorithms built in it, so it'll do all this purpose for you. Okay, so even if you don't understand this completely, all right, guys, it took a lot of time for me to digest all this information. It may take you as well, so please be patient. Okay, good. Now let me go back to the slides what I am speaking. So we are already discussed about what is Apache Lucene, and then very important point, it exposes REST API. We will see that in detail. Okay, how we can inject data into Elasticsearch, how we can delete data, how we can patch data, all those things we will see that in detail. Okay, I have already covered what is real time. Then I will go to the terminologies that commonly used with is ELK. Okay, the first term that you might need to understand is nodes. Okay, consider you run your SQL or your Oracle databases, right? If it is a small application, they may host it in your physical infrastructure. But imagine you are running a production service. What they will do? They will have a big physical bare metal server, either in house, or they rent some AWS or GCP clouds, right? So to host your infrastructure. Why? Because if there is a need for scalability, they do that with ease, right? So the same way, the Elasticsearch is normally you can run it with a single server, right? So nodes are just a single servers which actually stores the data. You are putting some values, right? You are injecting a lot of documents where this will be stored, right? So it will either use your local physical infrastructure, and if you want to use your physical bare metal server or your AWS machine, then it will use that. But nodes are just a single server which stores data. If there are multiple nodes combining together, then it forms a cluster, right? So they call it as cluster. If you want to do a lot of scaling because you are running production services and other stuff, then you can form a cluster, right? Multiple nodes which can feed a lot of data for you, right? So the faster you can fetch the data faster, you can inject data faster, everything is done, right? So even if there is only one node, it will be called a single node cluster. Okay, so everything is cluster, either it is having a single node or multiple nodes. But if it is having only a single node, it is called a single node cluster. Okay, so we have seen about nodes and cluster. There is another thing called as index, right? Index, you can imagine, is like a table in your conventional databases. When I mean conventional, it's your MySQL or Oracle databases where we have tables, right? So normally in a table, what we'll do, suppose if there is an employee data, we will store all the employee details in that particular table, right? So the same way, the index in Elasticsearch is a collection of similar documents, right? You send some similar documents into database index, right? So example, we store all the student details in students table, right? That's what we do. The same way, we store all the student details in student index in Elasticsearch, right? So index is basically a collection of similar documents. Good. Suppose there is something called as type, which is like a subtype of index. So when the student, we treat a student as an index, then the 10th grade, 11th grade, you can separate them into different parts. It's a subtype of index, right? So if you have a movie index, then you have Collywood, Bollywood, your Tollywood, and all other stuff as type, right? So these are all the important convention that you need to know. Document is just a basic unit of information that you are injecting into the database, right? So we will see about this in detail. Okay, because we will send certain document like our test case name is Google login test, and then again the data is passed or failed. These are all certain basic unit of information that we will be sending to Elasticsearch, and it is called as document, right? So as I already told, the document looks something like this. Okay, it will be looking something like this. Good. And then these are all the certain things about Elasticsearch and terminologies. And the last one is Kibana. As I already told, it's an open source data visualization tool, because Elasticsearch, it can help you to search and analyze, but you can use Kibana for the visualization. It has a lot of visualization diagrams like pie charts, your bar diagrams, line charts, timeline. There are a lot of things that you can do with the Kibana, right? So it provides visualization on top of the content that is indexed on a Elasticsearch cluster. Good. So you can, as I already told, you can use all these things to play around with large volume of data. Okay, we can play around with large volume of data with very very simple way, right? So it will be really fun to work with Kibana, guys. I'm sure about it. You will enjoy working with Kibana. I will see you guys in the next video about how we can install Elasticsearch, how we can install Kibana, and all of the stuff. So all the good things are coming your way. So please stay tuned and keep your fingers crossed for the next video. Tata, until then, Amudan, I'll see you guys in another great video. Tata, bye bye.